daughters, they get like wrinkles under wrinkles. They're just beautiful. You want to take their picture, you know, for a calendar. They're like that. And she said, I'm going to tell them something. She said, I've never told nobody, but this time I have to tell us. She said, when I was a little girl, the Indian agent, they came over to the house one morning and they told my parents it's time. So they were taking all the kids away, you see, from the school, to school. And she said, we got to school, I knew no English. She said, a couple of days later, I was talking to one of my friends in my language, and the teacher came over and said, come with me. She took her by the hand, and she took her in the other room, set her at this table. She said, I sat her for a while. Then this grandma was just getting teary-eyed. She said, I sat her for a while. She said, this man came in, and he took my hand, and he laid it on the table, and he pulled out a butcher knife, and he chopped off my little finger. And she said, I didn't know why he did that. Nobody explained anything. I didn't know. And she says, I bandaged it up. And she said, it hurt all night. She said, I just laid awake because it hurt so much. And she said, I just wanted my mom. I just wanted to go home, and that's all I wanted. I didn't like that place. And when she told that story, she's telling it like a little girl. She's not telling us an elder. Her voice was like that. Then she said, a couple days later, she's speaking again, and she said, when the teacher come forward and said, come with me, she said, I knew what was going to happen. I didn't know how come, but I just knew. And she said, I was resisting all the way in there. And she said, when I got in there, where that man was, he took a butcher knife and chopped off another finger. But I still didn't understand what was going on. Then she's really crying by now, and she looked over at her granddaughter, and she says, granddaughter, she said, that's how come I only got 2 fingers on my hand. She said, when they hit that third one, I got it, don't speak the language, I've never spoken since. When we were on this journey, and I tell that story, I would say maybe 12 people or so come up crying. They said, my grandma didn't have any fingers on her hand. No one of us understood why was she born without fingers. But she wasn't born without fingers. That was a form of punishment that she went through. So it wasn't just this one case, you see, it was more. So it's to take away the culture. So when these little kids grew up, this is what they experienced in SNIT. In the boarding schools, they experienced beatings. They were beaten. Put in little jail cells. Punished if they spoke the language, no teachings. How we taught them, that went away. So as they grew up, sexual abuse was going on, soaping them out, no ceremonies, no culture, cut your hair. So as these kids grew up, this is where we started to see alcoholism appear. When they took the spirituality, the alcohol is now there because you drink to hide the memories you can't stand what is going on. This is where we first saw the appearance of violence, first saw the appearance of sexual abuse. So to kind of put this in perspective, we're going to watch a very short video clip here.
There is one dark day in the lives of Indian children, a day when they are forcibly taken away from those who love and care for them, from those who speak their language. They are dragged, some screaming and weeping, others in silent terror, to a boarding school where they are to be remade into white kids.
By the late 19th century, the Indian Wars were over. The United States seized on a ruthless strategy to assimilate native children to a subordinate place in white-dominated society. Government-run boarding schools.
I was 5 years old. My mother was crying and they were taking us off. And my sister Audrey, who also, you know, was like a second mother to me and a very close friend as a sister. And my brother Mark, they were very sad. Within 2 hours or so after the buses filled up and we were down the road, this is the furthest I've ever been from my home in my life. And then, of course, it turns into evening and we arrive at this place.
I ended up in a place where nothing made any sense at all. It wasn't home, I didn't know anything about school. And nobody ever told me anything about school. I didn't know what the education was. I remember that I wanted to go home, period. Didn't want to be there, just wanted to go home.
And we all had to strip down naked, and then they put the DDT on us, and line us up, cutting our hair. We had long hair and braids, then that gets cut off. And I would say within a matter of an hour and a half, we're standing there, all looking alike.
Between the 1870s and the 1960s, over 100,000 Indian children were sent to one of the nearly 500 boarding schools scattered across the United States.
Through the agencies of the government, they are being rapidly brought from their state of comparative savagery and barbarism to one of civilization.
We couldn't sing any native songs or tribal songs. They just started using English. You could not use any other language. And we'd whisper it past the equation, past the grammar. It's like I had to be two people. I had to be Now Cumming, I had to be Dennis Banks. Now Cumming is my real name, my Ojibwe name. Dennis Banks had to be very protective of Now Cumming. And so I learned who the presidents were, and I learned the math, I learned the social studies, I learned the English, and Now Cumming was still there.
This is education that was promised us, that was guaranteed us through the treaties. But it wasn't. It's torture, brainwashing. They called us many different names. Savage, dumb, and we got beat for looking like an Indian, smelling like an Indian, and even speaking Indian. Everything they did.
Their de-Indianization program, it failed. But the toll was devastating. It destroyed our family. It destroyed the relationship we had with our mother. I could never regain that friendship, love-ship relationship that I had with my mother. It wasn't there anymore. And that's what, to this day, I keep thinking that, damn this government, what it did to me, and what it did to thousands of other children across this country.
Well, This video clip, by the way, was from that PBS series, We Shall Remain.